Hi, I'm Terry with Crosse Technology, and we're looking at the WS-9020. Model number is actually WS-9020U-IT. It's a 915 megahertz weather station. That simply means that it will transmit data updates at about every 6 seconds from the outdoor sensor. When you open it, you'll find your display and a stand for the display. And we're going to put those off to the side because we actually start with the outdoor sensor. The outdoor sensor, if you just twist it, the stand is attached when you get it. We have the mounting holes so that we can mount that against the wall or a tree. We do want to keep it out of direct rainfall, so you do want to cover it in some way. We're going to put a set of batteries in here. This uses a pair of AA batteries. To get into the battery case, we do have to unscrew it. Okay, once we have it unscrewed, we're going to need to pry the top up. There's a small notch there for doing it, and a pocket knife or a pen knife works well. You just put that in the notch and twist. We have our screw, which is trapped in there, and we have a nice weather seal to keep this dry. We're going to put a pair of alkaline batteries in here. We want to make certain they're fresh, new alkaline batteries. When we put those in, we'll see a small display light up, and given a few moments, that display will actually show us some coding and come to our temperature. We have this indoors, so right now we're going to be seeing that temperature, and it oscillates between the temperature and the relative humidity. We're going to put this about 3 to 5 feet away, and we're going to power up our weather station next. Weather station, simple power job as well. We press the button towards the battery door, the door opens. We put 3 fresh alkaline batteries in here. Again, we're looking at AA's, and the markings, the directional markings for the batteries are molded into the case. We hear a beep that lets us know the batteries are in correctly and they're properly, they have enough power. Everything lights up to let us know all the systems work. And almost immediately we see the time is 12 o'clock, our indoor temperature and humidity, and we've already picked up the outdoor temperature and humidity. We're seeing a forecast icon. We're seeing forecast data. The forecast data will mean nothing until the system has been running for about 3 days. It has to pick up some background information in its memory first. At that time, typically the forecast will be about 75% accurate for 12 hours in the future. We have a graph showing the relative humidity, and we can set that as well. We're going to go through the setup now. We start by using the set button. We press that and hold it. And we see our center section give us LCD with a number. That's simply how dense you want the display to be. We use the plus button to make it more dense, the minus button to make it less dense. Press the set button again. We can choose 12-hour time, or using the plus button, switch to 24-hour military and European style time. I'm going to leave it in 12-hour by pressing the plus again. Pressing set, I have to choose my time zone. The default is Eastern Standard Time. Pressing the plus button will take me to the east further. That's -4, which is going to give me Bermuda. The minus button takes me to the west. I'm going to stop at -6H, which is Central Standard Time, because that's where we are. We press the set button once again. DST is Daylight Savings Time. We can choose on, which means that when Daylight Savings Time happens, the clock will automatically adjust. Or using the plus button, we can set it to off. If you're in an area where you're not using Daylight Savings Time, you would set that to off. I'm going to put it back on and press my set button. I can now manually set the time if I want. By pressing the plus button, I change the hour. You'll notice that when I get to 12 o'clock, to the left of that 12, I'm going to show that I've gone to PM. It's 4:15 right here now, so I'm just going to set it to that. I've got my 4, press set again, the minutes flash. I use my plus button, and I'm going to take it to 15. The button responds about as fast as you can push it. Pressing the set button once again, I have my date. This is defaulting to New Year's Eve of 2004. It's not 2004. I'll use my plus button, set it to the current year, which is 2012. Use my set button once. The month is flashing. It's currently February, so I'll set that with the plus button. Press set again, the date flashes, and today is the 25th, so I'll use my plus button to go to the 25th. And if I hold it down, it goes faster. 24th, 25th, you notice it automatically sets the day as Saturday. Pressing set once again, RCC, radio controlled clock. I want that on if I want to let the atomic clocks in Fort Collins update my time. Otherwise, I can use the plus button and turn it off. I'm going to press the set button once again. I have degrees Fahrenheit. I can use my plus button to go to degrees Celsius if that's the way I want to look at my temperatures. I'll go back to Fahrenheit. We'll press set once again. I have the option of looking at my pressure in inches of mercury or pressing the plus button in hectopascals. I'm going to use inches of mercury simply because that's what's used by most people in the United States. Pressing set once again, my pressure is flashing. I've already checked the atmospheric pressure here right now is 29.82 inches. So I'm going to use my min button and I'm just going to count that back to 29.82. Each click, 1/100 of an inch. If I go too far, the plus button will move it ahead. Press my set button. I have my language selection. I can go to English, or by pressing my plus button, to German, Deutsch, or to French, or to Italian, or to Spanish, or back to English. Pressing the set button once again, I can choose my forecast period. I can have a forecast for 12 hours in the future, or I can have it forecasting with an index of 65%, which will give me a little bit less accuracy. Letting everything go, we're back to normal operation. It will actually come back to normal in about 30 or 40 seconds at most. We have our time set, we have our indoor and outdoor temperature set. We haven't picked up our relative humidity yet, but it is dry enough here in the room that it is probably below the threshold, humidity threshold. For that particular sensor. Our scanning meter will show us the changes in the atmospheric pressure. Think of each column of bars as being about 3 hours. So it'll run for 3 hours before you see any changes there.